What up guys, Roots here, and today I'd like to tell you a little bit about Retro City Rampage. I recently picked up this game and this thing is awesome! It's basically a love letter to everything that made the 8-bit era and my childhood so sweet. Retro City Rampage is the brainchild of Brian Provinciano of Vblank Entertainment, a Vancouver company, and it's basically a parody on classic games and overused gaming tropes, and it's hilarious. The fact that the game like this even exists is quite impressive in this day and age. If you're looking for a lighthearted romp through Nostalgia Town, it really doesn't get any better than this. In the short time I've played this game, I've seen so many references to movies, pop culture, and obviously gaming that it just blows my mind. I've seen references to the Ninja Turtles, Doc Brown, Duck Hunt, Bill and Ted, Solid Snake, Sonic the Hedgehog, RoboCop, Bionic Commando, Joker, Skate or Die, Mario, Frogger, Contra, Mortal Kombat, and this list just keeps going on and on and on. At one point I was rolling around the streets and I think I even saw the Ecto-1. That's pretty awesome. There's almost a meta game that exists within this game where you try to catch as many pop culture references as you can. It's difficult to review a game like this, so I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to give you my thoughts on it. You guys can make your own decisions. And honestly, if you stuck around this video for, the 2 minutes or whatever I've been on, or you've seen any other videos, you probably have a good idea if this game's going to appeal to you. First of all, the graphics. That's the thing everybody's going to be talking about. These are 8-bit graphics at their finest. Insane colors, crazy little sprites. You definitely get a GTA vibe from it. But if you guys grew up on the Halo games, or Mario is just a 3D model, this may not quite be your cup of tea. Personally, I'm a huge fan of pixel art, so naturally, I love this. The 8-bit pixelated landscapes and character models perfectly fit the game, and they give it a feeling that I haven't felt in a long time. Similarly, the sound fits the game's retro style perfectly. Original chiptunes accompany the action and are arguably the game's best quality. While I love the orchestral scores that accompany Halo and Modern Warfare and Skyrim, there's just something about that simple, wonky chiptune that just gets to me. Be advised though, if you're not a fan of chiptunes, this will get pretty grating pretty quickly. So basically the game's laid out. There's a couple different modes. There's story mode, arcade challenge mode, and then free play. Story mode's where I started. The missions in Retro City Rampage's story mode have a very GTA feel to them. You run around doing quests for other characters, fetch quests, driving quests, and the like. The story, from what I can gather, involves stealing Bill and Ted's time machine and going back to the past to do something. But honestly, in a game like this, who cares about the story? I don't care. I just want to play in my nostalgic playground. As you go through story mode, you're going to use a plethora of weapons, from guns to guitars. And at one point, I beat a guy to death with a mop. Even though I didn't see them in my playthrough, the top-down Grand Theft Auto style missions are interrupted by some side-scrolling and driving sections to give the game even more variety. Once you're done with story mode, or if you're just looking for a side diversion, arcade mode allows you to play the smaller challenges that you've unlocked during your story playthrough. These are like mini games to pass the time, but some of them are quite fun. You basically run around shooting people, driving cars, doing certain objectives, and there is a chance to chase the leaderboard. Free play, the final mode, is exactly what you think. It is free play. It is a sandbox of carnage. I started it up, I ran around, I shot people, I drove over people, and I did this until the cops killed me. That was it. There was no purpose, no point, but it is a lot of fun. I don't know if it's something that I'll continuously come back to or play for long stints, but it's nice to have it in there. Now within the game, the controls definitely have a retro feel. Cars turn on a dime, your character can jump, shoot, pick things up, and throw them. That's it. Nothing too fancy, but it works for an old school game. Oddly enough, it may actually take a little time to get used to the controls because they are so tight. They don't have that analog feel that modern games have. I found it kind of funny when I was driving the car, I kept slamming into walls because when you push up, you go up. There's no turning in an arc. You're instantly there. Your car can go forward and immediately backwards as if it's the Batmobile. There is one control mechanic that I thought was kind of handy in a game like this with so many characters on screen and so much chaos. There is a lock-on mechanic where I was playing on the PlayStation 3. If you hold the square or the shoot button, the first enemy that you're shooting, as long as you hold the button, you are locked on to that enemy until either he dies, which is likely, or you let go of the button. There's an alternate shooting method where you use the right analog stick, which gives the game a very Smash TV feel. You're basically at that point playing a twin stick shooter with additional controls. I found myself switching back and forth between the two depending on the context of what was going on in the game. Similarly, character movement can be handled with either the D-pad or the analog stick. Out of sheer modern gaming habits, I wanted to use the analog stick, but I found myself jumping back to the D-pad simply because it felt a little more authentic with this 8-bit style of game. As I continued to play through the game, I found that I would use the stick for on-foot movement and the D-pad for vehicular mayhem, which I still switched up once in a while, but that seemed to be the control scheme I liked, and I liked that variety was available to me. And trust me, you're going to need the tight controls to get through some of these missions. Unlike a lot of modern games where if you screw up, you don't necessarily fail, you can fail in this. I actually failed, embarrassingly enough, a mission for Solid Snake 2 or 3 times. 1, because I wasn't used to the controls. 2, I wasn't following his instructions. He required me to sneak around past some guards to slip into a military base to accomplish the mission, and I wanted to go in guns blazing, which immediately caused me to fail the mission. Thankfully, after failing missions or dying, all it took was a quick press of X and I was back in the action. Though I absolutely love this game, it does have a couple of issues that I think you should be aware of. One complaint that I had when I initially reviewed this game, that I'm not sure that I have now, is that the pacing of this game is so fast. I was a little tired. I got off work, thought I'd play a little Retro City Rampage, give you guys a bit of a review, and man did I feel worn out when I was done. That's a small complaint. I would rather a game wear me out than bore me to death. Another slight gripe I have is with the minimap, and I wouldn't expect a minimap in a game such as this, and it may just be that they put this in as a play on modern games' reliance on maps, but there is a minimap included, so I should address it. It's not all that useful. It gives you such a small area of the screen. You can see when a corner is coming up and you need to turn, but if you're looking at the map, you're not going to make the turn. So I don't know why they included that. There is already an on-screen indicator that gives you basically a direction down, say the bottom left corner. Go this way to your next checkpoint. That would be fine. That would be enough. There is a full-size city map in the pause screen, but I don't know why necessarily you would need that, unless you're trying to complete all the challenges and wanted to get a lay of the land. One small gripe that I think I should bring up, but I'm a little conflicted on, is the fact that there are so many weapons in the game. On one hand, I absolutely love the variety. I beat a guy with a guitar, with a mop, with a paddle. I paddled his backside, actually. There's guns, there's bazookas, there's crazy stuff. But when you're trying to flip through that many weapons, it's difficult to get to the one you want in time. The flip side of this is that it seemed in most situations, I didn't need the Uzi to complete the mission. I could easily run up to a guy and beat him to death, or I could throw a grenade, or I could use a flamethrower. So it didn't seem to really hinder the experience. It was just a minor inconvenience. So overall, how do I feel about this game? I feel Retro City Rampage is a must-buy for those who grew up in the 8-bit era or who simply have a fondness for retro gaming in general. Sure, there's no bloody reason that this game should exist, but it does, so enjoy it. It's definitely a trip down memory lane that you shouldn't miss. Right now, this game is only $15, and in my opinion, worth every penny. It's currently available for the PlayStation 3, the Vita, and PC. There are plans for the Xbox and Wii versions, though I don't know if a date's been set yet. One interesting note, the PlayStation 3 and Vita download gives you both versions of the game, and it does support cross-play, cross-save between the two devices. So this is perfect if you want to kill some time at home, but also kill it on the go. Wrapping up, again, this game is awesome. It's nostalgia, nostalgia, nostalgia. If you're a retro gamer, this is your wet dream. I told my wife when she came home the other day that this was the best Nintendo game I had ever played on my PlayStation 3. If you're an old school or retro gamer, go download it right now. Chances are you left this video minutes ago to go get it. If 8-bit graphics and chiptunes aren't your thing, I'm kind of surprised you stuck around, and this may not be for you. So feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments, and leave a like if you want to see more videos on Retro City Rampage. Also, if you'd like to see more game-related content, game-related news in general from me, please subscribe. I appreciate it. Again, this has been Roots. Until next time.